Hello everybody, it's Foxy speaking, and welcome to another episode of Foxy's Fun Inspirational Chats. And today I will be your host. And in this episode, this is the continuation of the steam railway history with Foxy and another part of this. And let's dive in. Just gotta check to where we were last time. Sorry if I'm a little mixed up on things. Oh, goodness gracious. No, we did all that. We did the Gloucestershire and Warwickshire. Did Paynton. Last one we did was Swanage. There we are. The West Somerset Railway is the next one we're going to read in coverage of, which is just after the Swanage Railway proceedings. West Somerset Railway, Somerset, Bishops Lydeard, 5 miles 8 kilometres northwest of Taunton. Stretching for 20 miles 32 kilometres between Bishops Lydeard and Minehead, the West Somerset Railway is the longest preserved railway in Britain. It may one day be even longer, for there is still a connection with the main line to the west of Taunton Station for the occasional through excursion. For the time being, however, passengers arriving by train at Taunton are usually met by a connecting bus which takes them to the eastern terminus at Bishops Lydeard. The existence of this railway is due to the initiative of the County Council, which purchased the line following its closure by British Rail in 1971. This enabled the West Somerset Railway to refurbish the route and reopen it in stages between 1976 and 1979. It retains the atmosphere of a Great Western Railway single-track holiday branch. Indeed, it became so busy during the summer months that 2 special passing loops had to be built to break up sections between stations, and the platform at Minehead was lengthened to accommodate 16 coach trains. This legacy had stood the railway in good stead, for it needs to run long trains during the peak holiday season to cope with the volume of travellers. Passengers at Bishops Lydeard have plenty to occupy their time, for there is a visitor centre in the former goods shed, incorporating a locomotive or coach, a working signal box and signals, photographs, railway memorabilia, and a model railway. Northbound trains have a stiff climb for 4 miles 6.5 kilometres to the highest point of the line at Crocombe Heathfield, where the station has 2 platforms and a separate station master's house with decorative barge boards. Views of the Quantock and Brendan Hills open up to the left before arrival at Stogumber, seemingly a good example of minimalist station design. With its tiny platform shelter, in fact, the station building is unusually positioned at ground level on the opposite side of the track to the platform. At this station, passengers can take advantage of a picnic site in lovely surroundings. The halfway station of Willerton has 2 architectural delights for connoisseurs of industrial buildings. It has the only surviving operation Bristol and Exeter railway station box, and a very early metal-framed prefabricated structure which was dismantled at Swindon railway works and re-erected here. A listed building, it now provides covered accommodation for rolling stock. Beyond Willerton, the train comes within 15 yards, 13 metres, of the sea, at which high tide, and as it approaches Watchet Station, it skirts the harbour on the right. Still active, with commercial shipping up to 2,500 tons. Watchet is the oldest port in the country and has recently celebrated its millennium. It was the prime season for the railway, which arrived here in 1862, and the extension to Minehead took another 12 years to complete. It was in the docks at Watchet that Coleridge is believed to have found inspiration for the rhyme of the ancient mariner in his conversations with sailors. Energetic passengers equipped for walking can leave the train here or at the next station, Washford, to explore the remains of the West Somerset Mineral Railway. This fascinating line was built primarily to convey iron ore extracted from the Brendan Hills to Watchet Harbour for shipment across the Bristol Channel to the foundries of South Wales. The most interesting part is the section from Comborough, where an inclined plane ascended the slope of the hills. Leaving Watchet, the line turns inland and crosses the track bed of the Mineral Railway before reaching Washford, where there is a small museum commemorating the Somerset and Dorset Railway, a route which once ran through the Mendips from Bath to Bournemouth. The line returns to the sea as it nears Blue Anchor, where the waiting room houses a museum of GWR artifacts, with marvellous views out to sea. The line hugs the shore to Dunster. A break in the 1 hour 20-minute journey to walk up the road to this attractive and interesting village is strongly recommended. A long straight takes the railway past the largest holiday centre in the country and into the terminus and headquarters of the railway, where locomotives and carriages are repaired. Old Minehead and the 17th century harbour are both the stuff of picture postcards. Train service most days between Easter and October, daily from June to September. Telephone 01643 707 650 /704 996. That's coverage of the West Somerset Railway. Now it's time to read the Bluebell Railway. Bluebell Railway, East Sussex. Sheffield Park, 15 miles, 24 kilometres, northeast of Brighton, not too far from me, and I've been to the Bluebell Railway quite a good few times in my childhood, and once in, I haven't been for a very, very long time now, but I should go again one day. It is little wonder that the Bluebell Railway is probably the best known preserved railway in Britain. Reopened in 1960, it is the oldest of former British Railways lines to be saved by preservationists, and one of its engines, Stepney, was used as the basis of an engine character by the Reverend W. Awdry in his perennially popular children's books. Even those who have not heard of the Bluebell may recognise its southern terminus, since it takes its name from the nearby National Trust Garden of Sheffield Park. It is worth spending some time at Sheffield Park, admiring these superbly overhauled and repainted locomotives, turned out by the well-equipped workshops, and looking at the small museum and the model railway on the platform opposite the entrance. The location of the signal box on the platform allows visitors to appreciate the burnished brass instruments and steel levers at close quarters than most preserved railways. Having been the first in the field, the Bluebell was at a great advantage when it came to buying both locomotives and carriages from British Rail. Steam traction still had 8 years to run on Britain's national railways, so there were over 10,000 locomotives and hundreds of different classes from which to choose. No railway can rival the Bluebell for the variety and antiquity of its coaches. Many date from before World War I, and few were built after the Second. To sit in a beautifully upholstered compartment, surrounded by polished wood, ornate brass fittings, and prints of rail destinations is one of the particular pleasures of a journey on the line. Another hallmark of the Bluebell is attention to detail when it comes to authenticity. For few railways have been as meticulous in the way stations or rolling stock have been restored. The correct colours are scrupulously applied, and a journey from Sheffield Park takes passengers on something of a trip through time. This station has been renovated in the style of the London, Brighton and South Coast Railway, which built the line, opening in 1882. Horsted Keynes exemplifies a Southern Railway country junction of the 1930s, and the northern terminus at Kingscote, reopened in 1994 as part of the drive to rejoin the main line at East Grinstead, is being renovated in the style of the 1950s. The journey also takes passengers from the Eastern Hemisphere to the West, crossing the line of the Greenwich Meridian as it leaves Sheffield Park. The train accelerates past the elegant starting signal at Sheffield Park so that the locomotive can get to grips with the steep 2-mile, 3-kilometre climb up Freshfield Bank. The woods that follow give the railway its name, for in May there are a mass of bluebells, almost iridescent in dappled spring sunshine. It is hard to believe that this idyllic countryside was the centre of Britain's iron industry during the Middle Ages, but woods like those beside the line were the source of the charcoal upon which the industry deepened. A final climb through a cutting brings the train into the imposing 4-platform station at Horsted Keynes. The size of the station, even equipped with the subway, is astonishing for so remote a location, but this was once the junction for a line to Haywards Heath that was still in use when the Bluebell began operations. The route of the line, which closed in 1963, can be seen going off behind the signal box on the left on the approach to the station. Apart from the country park, ideal for picnics or for children to let off steam, Horsted Keynes has the Bluebell's carriage and wagon works and sheds, where the varied skills needed to maintain the stock are practiced. It is also worth allowing time for a drink in the delightfully restored bar on the middle platform, which must have consoled many a weary traveller waiting for a correction. Out of Horsted Keynes, another climb faces northbound trains as they approach Sharpthorne Tunnel. At 780 yards, 740 metres, the longest tunnel on any preserved railway. The pictures of Kingscote Station before the team began work following its purchase in 1985 are a good indication of what dedicated volunteers can achieve. An entire platform had to be replaced and the filled-in subway cleared out, quite apart from the eradication of both wet and dry rot in the station building. Visitors to the Bluebell from the London area can take advantage of a bus service that runs non-stop from East Grinstead Station to Kingscote, a 10-minute journey every day that the railway operates, and to coincide with the trains. Only visitors arriving at Kingscote by this bus are entitled to buy a ticket here because of parking restrictions around the station. In a few years, it should be possible to reach the Bluebell Railway by a simple cross-platform change at East Grinstead. Train services, weekends throughout the year, but daily from May to September and on local school holidays. Telephone 01825 722 370 /32723 777. The end. Only did 2 railways in coverage of 2 railways, and in the very next episode it will be either again another 2 or possibly 3, but I shall see what happens. Thanks all for watching, and ta-ta another time. From Foxy.